Revelations' silence about America isn't an accident. It's a prophetic clue. This may be why America disappears from the end times. In exactly 2,000 years of recorded prophecy, one particular nation is missing. The most powerful empire in human history simply vanishes. But here's what will shock you most. 3 different explanations exist for America's disappearance. And by the end of this video, you'll understand what 99% of Christians miss. Theory 1. The eagle wings that saves Israel. There's a mysterious verse in the book of Revelation. It talks about a woman, symbolic of Israel, being hunted by the dragon, who represents Satan. But suddenly, something happens. She's rescued. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness. Revelation 12:14. Here's the big question people have been asking. Is the eagle in this verse America? And could the United States play a role in saving Israel during the Great Tribulation? Right now, Israel stands at the center of world attention. Tensions in the Middle East keep rising. Politics, threats, peace talks, it's all happening in real time. And America? For decades, it has been Israel's strongest ally. So if the tribulation is coming, and if Israel will be under attack, will America be the eagle that flies in and rescues her? Or does prophecy point to something else entirely? Not every symbol in the Bible is a mystery. Some are warnings we've missed. Could the greatest military power in history actually be mentioned in the Bible, and we just didn't see it? The bald eagle became the symbol of America in 1782, long before Israel became a modern nation. The connection between Israel and the eagle symbol is one of the most discussed images in Bible prophecy. If America is the eagle, then its role in the end times is far more prophetic and dangerous than anyone expected. Eagles' wings often represent divine rescue, speed, and supernatural protection. That means the wings in Revelation 12 might not be a nation at all. They might represent God's supernatural protection over Israel during the tribulation. So now we have 2 views. Literal view. America uses military or political power to evacuate or protect Israel. Symbolic view. God supernaturally protects Israel using a spiritual wings of an eagle. When God moves to protect Israel, He can use nations or go above them. Could both be true? Could God use America as His instrument, but only for a time? Since 1948, the United States has stood behind Israel. President Truman was the first world leader to recognize Israel as a nation. America has supplied billions in military aid. We've vetoed anti-Israel votes in the UN. And many Americans support Israel based on Bible prophecy. Could that relationship be part of God's plan? Possibly. But here's the warning. The Bible also shows that nations can shift, allegiances can fall, and pride can blind even the strongest country. Number 2, the Babylon theory. Now, here's something most people don't realize about the book of Revelation. And this is crucial to understanding what we're about to explore. John doesn't just see random symbolic visions. He sees specific details, precise characteristics, exact behaviors. He's essentially receiving a detailed profile of a future world power that won't exist for another 2,000 years. And in chapters 17 and 18 of Revelation, John sees something that stops him in his tracks. He sees a woman sitting on a scarlet beast, and the Bible tells us, "And on her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, and of the abominations of the earth." Revelation 17:5. Now, here's what's fascinating. John uses the word mystery This is a future Babylon, a last days Babylon. And as we're about to discover, this future Babylon has 7 very specific characteristics. So let's count down the 5 most compelling reasons why the United States of America may fulfill these biblical prophecies. And remember, each reason builds on the previous one. Reason number 5. Global military dominance. No nation in the history of the world has ever wielded military power like this. Right now, as I'm speaking to you, the United States has over 800 military installations in 80 different countries. Let me put that in perspective for you. The Roman Empire at its peak controlled about 20% of the world's land mass. The British Empire, on which the sun never set, controlled about 25%. But America? America has the ability to project military force to any location on planet Earth within 24 hours. But here's what's truly mind-blowing, and this is something that will become critically important when we get to reason number 1. The United States spends more on its military than the next 10 countries combined. The U.S. Navy has more aircraft carriers than the rest of the world combined. The U.S. Air Force can reach any target on Earth. And America is the only nation that has ever used nuclear weapons in warfare. But here's what makes this even more remarkable. Throughout history, great military powers have always been regional. Rome dominated the Mediterranean, Britain controlled the seas, but no empire has ever had the kind of global reach we see today. And here's why that matters. Because the Bible prophesies that Babylon's destruction will come suddenly, in 1 hour. But here's what's truly chilling, and this connects directly to reason number 4. Military might is just one form of power. And while America's military dominance is obvious, there's a form of control that's far more subtle, far more pervasive, and far more powerful than any army. It's a control system so sophisticated that most people don't even realize they're trapped in it. Because you see, you can conquer a nation with weapons, but if you really want to control the world, you need to control something else entirely. And that brings us to reason number 4, which reveals the most ingenious control system ever devised. Reason number 4, economic control through the dollar system. The most powerful weapon on Earth isn't nuclear, it's financial. I need to take you back to a hotel in New Hampshire in 1944. Because what happened in that hotel didn't just change history, it created the foundation for end times prophecy. It's July 1944. World War II is still raging. But in a small resort town called Bretton Woods, representatives from 44 nations are gathering for a conference that will determine the future of the global economy. At this conference, the United States convinces the world to adopt a system where the US dollar becomes the global reserve currency. Every international transaction will be conducted in dollars. Every central bank will hold dollars as their primary reserve. Every major commodity, oil, gold, wheat, will be priced in dollars. Now, here's why this is so significant. This means that every nation on Earth becomes dependent on America's currency to conduct international business. If you want to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, you need dollars. If you want to trade with China, you need dollars. If you want to build up your national reserves, you need dollars. And America controls that system absolutely. But here's what makes this even more ominous. And this is something that will become crucial when we reach reason number 1. The Bible prophesies that Babylon's economic system will make all nations drunk with the wine of her fornication. And we're about to see exactly how America has accomplished this through something far more powerful than money: the export of moral corruption itself. Because while economic control can force compliance, cultural influence can change hearts and minds. And that brings us to reason number 3, which reveals how America has accomplished something no empire in history has ever achieved. Reason number 3. Moral and cultural corruption exported globally. Reason number 3. America didn't just export products and military power, it exported a way of life that has fundamentally transformed every culture on Earth. I want you to think about this for a moment. In 1950, most cultures around the world had distinctly different values, different moral standards, different views of family and spirituality. But today, whether you're in Tokyo, London, São Paulo, you'll find remarkably similar attitudes toward these fundamental issues. How did that happen? How did billions of people across dozens of different cultures all start thinking the same way about morality and values? With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And the Bible says that Babylon will make the entire world drunk with this corruption. And that's exactly what we've witnessed over the past 70 years. American entertainment, American media, American social values have penetrated every corner of the globe. In the 1950s, Hollywood began producing movies that challenged traditional moral values. By the 1960s, American television was broadcasting these new values around the world. By the 1980s, American music and fashion were setting global trends. And today, American social media platforms are shaping the thoughts and beliefs of billions of people in real time. But here's what's truly prophetic about this. The Bible doesn't just say that Babylon will influence other nations, it says she will make them drunk. And that's exactly what we see. Nations don't just watch American entertainment, they become addicted to it. They don't just adopt American values, they abandon their own traditional values in favor of American ones. But here's what makes this even more disturbing, and this connects directly to our next reason. This cultural corruption isn't just affecting secular society, it's penetrating the church itself. And when we examine how American Christianity has influenced global Christianity, we discover something that should terrify every believer. Reason number 1. I sit as queen. The pride that precedes the fall. Reason number 1. 7 words that perfectly capture America's attitude toward itself and the world. Over the past hour, we've examined 4 characteristics of Babylon the Great: unprecedented military dominance, global economic control, worldwide cultural corruption, and religious prostitution. But all of these characteristics stem from one fundamental attitude, one mindset that drives every other behavior. And in Revelation 18:7, the Bible captures this attitude in 7 words that are so perfectly descriptive of modern America that it will give you chills. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Let me break this down for you, because each phrase in this verse describes America's current mindset with shocking precision. I sit a queen. This isn't just about power, it's about perceived permanence. A queen doesn't just rule, she believes her rule is legitimate, ordained, and unshakable. And that's exactly America's self-perception. After World War I, America saw itself as the arsenal of democracy. After World War II, America became the leader of the free world. During the Cold War, America positioned itself as the defender of freedom against tyranny. And today, American politicians regularly refer to America as the indispensable nation. Listen to how American leaders speak about America. America is the greatest nation on earth. America is the shining city on a hill. America is the last, best hope of mankind. But here's what makes this even more sobering. And this is something every American needs to understand. The Bible doesn't just prophesy Babylon's destruction, it tells us how the world will respond. Revelation 18:9-10 says, "And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come." Think about what this means. When Babylon falls, the world doesn't celebrate. They mourn.